All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's another lovely Wednesday afternoon. And of course, it's my pleasure to have you join me on yet another amazing episode of Flipside on independent television, broadcasting live from that city of bronze. Yeah, I love to call it that city where the king is truly king. Now, Flipside is one show where we get to look at issues from a very different perspective. You know, sometimes when you look at issues from just one perspective, it becomes really boring, right? So that's why we tend to want to look at it from a different perspective entirely. My name is Harry Aigboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join us on yet another beautiful episode of the show. Now, like you already know, I'm never alone on the show. I'm not a Liverpool fan, so I don't walk alone. I've got some amazing people in the house with me, and together we're going to be taking a look at the issue that we have to discuss today. Now, to my far left is a clergy. He's also a social commentator. He comments on, you know, public issues, and he goes by the name of Omije Oshoria. It's good to have you in the house, bro.
Thank you very much. It's nice being here again.
And of course, seated next to him is someone who's also very passionate about social issues. He's a politician. Yeah, I had to chip that in because I know that that's something else you're also very passionate about.
Yes.
He's someone who's also a gender activist, like he's an activist for his male gender, all right, and he goes by the name of Williams Kemi Ediaye. It's good to have you in the house.
Yeah, thank you very much, Harry. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for being in the house. Now, gentlemen, we have a very controversial discourse before us. Controversial in the sense that, you know, every time this issue comes up, people tend to be in their feelings, especially the affected ones, the affected parties. And it has to do with the intricacies of single parenthood. First off, we know who a single parent is, right? And if you take a look at society today, you'll see that there are certain things that tend to carry some sort of a stigma, right? Certain things that, you know, once it's mentioned, people tend to look at you in a certain way. An example is, let's say, a divorcee. Someone who is a divorcee is looked at in a certain way, right? I think the same thing pretty much applies to single parents. A single parent is someone who, you know, just like the word says, you are a parent and you don't have a partner. You are the only parent of your child. That's basically what a single parent is. Now, a lot of times when somebody says he or she is a single parent, society tends to look at them in a certain way, right? Now, Oshoria, how do you see a single parent? Let's start from there.
Good afternoon, everybody. Single parent, first of all, is a parent that fends and takes care of his child all alone.
Okay.
We can also say a single parent is someone that used to be married and now is no longer married due to one or two problems.
Okay.
You know, so we also have single parenting in male and in female. There are so many women out there that are single parents because of marital crisis. There are also so many ladies out there that are single parents because of rape.
Okay.
You know, we also have some single parents as a result of being a widow. Probably the demise of the husband. Or
yes, I was actually going to ask a question in that regard.
So,
would it be right, sorry to interject, is it right contextually to consider, you know, widows and widowers as, you know, single parents?
Yes, you can, because this is English. Single means one.
Okay.
So one.
Because we've had, you know, discussions on social media and people saying that, if you are a widow, you don't fall under the category.
No, you are. You used to be single, but now one left. That has automatically made the person to become single. So it still falls within that category.
Okay.
But in a nutshell, I've seen people, you know, who becomes victims of this whole single parent stuff because they got pregnant. Especially ladies, you know, that has halted their transformation process. Many of them have put out of school. Many of them have, been sacked, or rather they left their place of work because of the shame and the stigma, so that they can have time to take care of their baby. So it's really, it's a societal problem.
Okay.
You know, I will explain why I said it's a societal problem, because there are a lot of deep things about single parenting. Yeah, it's not something that we can just say on the surface, something that we just look and just wave aside. is really a big societal problem.
Okay, now thank you so much, Oshoria. Williams, there is a clear difference between a single father in our society today and a single mother. And I'm sure the reasons are pretty obvious, right? For example, first off, there's such differences are not supposed to exist because just like they say, just like the adage says, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But that is not the reality because, you know, once a man says he's a single father, for instance, society tends to, you know, sympathize with him. In fact, some women don't even mind becoming, you know, a mother to his kids, right? But it's usually a different ball game when it's a woman. Do you understand? Let's say a woman, for instance, says she's a single mother. There are tons of men out there who don't want to commit to her. So what are the reasons?
First of all, just like Shora said, it's not every woman's dream to be categorized as single mother.
Okay.
Or to find yourself fall out of marriage. You know, first of all, a lot of issues lead to divorce that can result to being a single mother. And then I don't find yourself in that situation. The society will tend to see she's not well-mannered, or there's something wrong with her. Well, at this your age, you're out of marriage, or at this your age, you don't know who's the father, or probably you can't keep a man. You know, families, even the society tend to judge. And then imagine a young man coming to the house and say he wants to get married to a woman. Definitely, family will run a background check, and they discover that, oh, she's once with a child. They will first of all call you to order. If he's a man, the father that doesn't ever care, first of all, put hands to your ears.
So that's
and
you putting the first portion of the blame on the family.
Yes.
Okay.
There are also that you say putting in first, but yes, that is also involved. You can call that too, because first of all, you are not getting married to a man alone. You are getting married to his family.
Okay.
So then that is that aside. Then society will ask you that they will tag her like probably one that result to issue like she's very stubborn, not submissive, or I don't want to take it too extreme. Okay. You understand? You know what I'm talking about. They say, well, nobody knows what led to the death of the husband, or what led to the husband to run away from her. You know, they have seen some situation whereby the men just, probably for one reason or another, just run away from the wife and the children. Okay. You understand? You know, we're talking about how we like get a first-hand experience. And the lady we're talking about, she's not really exposed. Whenever I see her, she's just going straight to where she wants to get something. And there was a day I approached her. I was driving to work that day, and she entered my vehicle with her baby. They were going to school. So I was just like interrogating her. She said she's never, and I said, are you even interested in seeing her to go into marriage? She said, no, she's not. She's just focused on herself and a child. That she knows how to look for her to make her life meaningful. You see, so most of them, they even by themselves subject to saying that, though, I don't think it's possible because of what is happening out there. It's not everyone's dreams to be a single mother. So I think it's really nice for us to start seeing, for us to start trying to like right the wrongs. What are the issues? Is it coming from the man? Is it coming from the woman? If it's from the woman, then what are we going to do to make sure that we stop seeing, because these days it's becoming rampant.
It is.
Or sure, I made mention of rape. That is inevitable. It's not her fault that she was raped. You have to nail it to the young man that did that, and then find herself in that situation. You have to also pardon her. But the ones that we're talking about is ones related by character, not submissiveness, all those kind of issues, and then stiff-neckedness, and then the family issue. I think those are the major issues that we should talk about.
Thank you so much. Now, you just made mention of righting the wrongs, and I think that's very key in this conversation because, you know, it's not just enough to address issues or to talk about problems.
Yes.
It's also very important to begin to profess solutions as much as we can, you know, to such problems. Now, talking about righting the wrongs, we must first identify the wrongs, Oshoria,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let's begin to identify the wrongs. Now, what exactly is the problem? He just made mention of the fact that it's becoming more rampant in the society. Nowadays, you know, single parenthood, single motherhood, basically, has become like the order of the day. So what exactly is wrong?
Okay, I think I've always made it clear that for every problem, there must be a source. Because if you look at what is happening today in our society, we have so many responsible boys that wants to become a father.
Yeah.
We have butterflies that think himself more as a bird. You know, it has really become a problem. Right from secondary school, I have taught students that became pregnant. You know, you see a girl of 16, probably because she now has mature organs, she sees herself more as a big girl. So it's really a big problem. You know, I keep talking about societal dysfunction, and all of this starts from the family.
Okay.
Mothers no longer have time to teach their children about sex education. So when they have a guy that can teach them that, you see them following the path. I'm just trying to tackle it from the root. So you see them tasting what they're not supposed to taste. You see them drinking the milk they're not supposed to
at that wrong age.
take. They can take, you can confuse milk of the puppy and normal milk. And when you take milk of the puppy, you sleep.
So
when you
there's
take
a clear
normal,
difference.
so that's you see them,
Yeah.
you know, practicing what they're not supposed to practice. And there's what we call 9 months assignments. When you start eating the food for 9 months assignments, you become pregnant.
Yes.
And such a girl becomes a misfit in society. So all of these starts from a particular. So then number two, I think I would blame, the first one I blame that to the girl child, to the parenting. Then number two, I think we have so many irresponsible guys out there. If you know you are not man enough, I'm saying this now, I'm being emphatic. If you know you are not man enough to take care of a girl, take care of the child, to marry legally, you don't have any business doing what my people are doing. Because this is where the whole problem starts from.
Yes.
Do you understand? At the end of the day, you see the girl becoming pregnant, you see her suspending everything that can make her life better just to cater for the child. And you know the painful part that's even paining me. After taking care of the child, she can get pregnant again. She can waste 3 years of her life taking care of one child.
There's tendencies of that happening, yes.
Getting pregnant again, wasting that 3 years.
Yes.
Taking care of that child. And you know, it's a cycle. I'm coming. You know, it's what we call parental care. It spans for 30 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can spend 15 years of your life taking care of one child. The other one again, 15 years. Of course, you can do it concurrently, but at least. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's a societal problem, and I think our parents, they really have it. I think I said something in the last time I came here. I said, if you know that you don't understand the dynamics of parenting, go back and learn from the older ones. Because all of this still boils down to parental failure. Then, like I said, our youth need to understand priorities. Before you become a bird, you must first of all have feathers. Before you have feathers, you must first of all have smaller feathers. So you must understand that life is a stage of metamorphosis. Life is in stages.
In phases, yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. So you must understand that at a point in your life, you learn skills. At a point in your life, you go to school, you get educated. At a point in your life, you get a job. At a point in your life, you fend for yourself. At a point in your life, you start thinking of settling down. So when all of these steps are being short-circuited, you feel you can cut short. But one thing about shortcuts is that cut short actually cut short. When you try to cut short phases, stages of metamorphosis, you actually shoot yourself in the foot. So when you omit all of these phases to your growth and to your development, you end up entering trouble.
Okay.
And teenage pregnancy and single parenting is part of those troubles that I just mentioned. God will help us.
Amen. God will indeed help us. Now, okay, now, one of the things that we will be looking at, of course, we'll be going on a break shortly, okay, is what you just made mention of, which is the issue of, young people not being responsible for their actions anymore. Now, while Oshora was talking, he made mention of the fact that, young people of this generation seem not to be taking responsibility for their lives, right? Now, there seems to be this growing trend in recent time of young men running away from marriage. I don't know if you've noticed, especially on social media, you hear women even asking questions like, how come men of this generation are no longer interested in marriage?
I saw one yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there's a problem here, because what that means is that somehow they have to find a way to have children. Do you understand?
Yes.
They may not want to get married, but procreation is natural. It's something that is bound to happen. So we now have a generation of young men who want to have kids without getting married. So don't you think this in itself is also a major factor that's responsible for the proliferation of single parents in our society, especially single mothers?
Yeah, he said it. He dived into it a little before I'll continue. What you are not ready for, you should not attempt to do it. You should not attempt to wanting to unfold. They said, if you don't want your eyes to cry tears, don't peel the onions. You understand? So this, there was a video I watched. A lady saying the guy at the point of getting married, he left her. And they asked her the question, the presenter of the show asked her a question. How old is he? She said 27. What is he doing? He said there's no job. And he said, you want to get married. So he said, why is he running away? Because he knows that he's not ready yet. And he doesn't want to commit you. Then when you get to a point whereby there's issues and then you are the one that is affected, definitely it's the lady that will be affected. You will be the one that will be affected. You understand? So why don't you just take, for example, that, okay, this is what this young man wants to do. Then let him go. Look for how to move past him and focus. Because I don't advise any young man to go into that when you know you are not ready.
So you're saying the lack of preparedness is also a major reason? First
of all, I will fault them to some extent, but I will not completely fault the young men. You know why? Because first of all, we are in a country whereby to even settle as a young man is first difficult. Understand? And you know that it's difficult. You should not commit yourself to that kind of a lifestyle kind of situation. Nobody says you shouldn't date, but you have to plan your life. Stages.
Okay.
You understand? Stages. You don't bring in a woman to your life when you know that anything that happens, you are not ready to face the consequences. Then just be calm, be yourself and do your thing. Till you get to the stage where you know that, okay, I'm ready to do such. Anything that happens, I'll go into it. Not by you get into it, then when she put to bed.
To realize that you can't.
Yes, when you put to bed, you will not escape because the heat is too much. If you look at the social media, a lot of things, they will post a lot of things now. The other day I saw a baby feed now, almost close to 70,000. How much is your salary?
So nobody say you will not get that kind of circumstance.
Yes, nobody say you should not get married. You should get married. But when you get married, then put yourself down, be ready to face and absorb the pressure. Because I, as a young man, I know what I see on a daily basis. I know what I hear. I know what I see on my phone on a daily basis of people who are married. It's not an easy task. We are not trying to make it look difficult, but we are trying to make you prepare your mind.
Okay.
So we'll now start talking about this, because the issue why you are seeing this thing in rampant now, because a lot of people just want to escape being single. And you don't know what is there. Because people who are telling you to go and do it, they don't tell you what is there.
Okay.
So you should gather your mind. Let them get all the information. Don't just go there blindly.
Okay.
Get all the information and know when you are there, you are there. So a lot of people go into that issue without going to marriage now. So people who are watching will know what we're talking about. Going to marriage without that full head information that this is not how you live your life. When you're there, you're there. You have to take responsibility as a man. So you don't run away.
Okay.
Just like we said, it's not everybody's wish to be single or to go into being a single parent, and vice versa, because I've seen single fathers with their children take a woman also run away. So it's just like that. So when you are going through that situation, you have to make your mind. You have to prepare yourself that at this stage of my life, I'm a man. I should face this because I was the one that first of all took the decision. So let me face it. So what we're trying to say now, when you take that decision, be strong and face it and be ready.
All right, thank you so much. Now, Sharia, what he just said bothers so much on, societal pressure. Now, he made mention of the fact that getting married is not a joke. Okay, a lot of young men of nowadays don't understand the reality of marriage. They do not understand that getting married is one thing, but taking up the responsibilities of marriage is another thing. Now, we cannot have this discussion without looking at, the pressure that society tends to mount on young men. Now, there are some men, in recent time that have said stuff like, if you are not a society that tells a man that he's not entitled to a woman or he shouldn't get into a relationship if he doesn't have money, has no business telling him how many women he should keep or what he should do with a woman when he eventually makes money. Now, what do you make of that argument? Because, like I said, society tells men, oh, see, if you don't have money, stay away from marriage or stay away from relationship. So some of them now believe that once they make money, you have no right to tell them what to do with their money.
Okay, next question. First of all, before I continue, let me give a special shout out to all the single mothers.
Okay.
I understand whatever you're going through. I know it's hard. God will see you through. God will help you.
Amen.
I sympathize with you. In agreement with what you said, one thing I keep telling people, do not allow society put pressure on you. You should put on a chest of iron that can protect you from pressure.
The breastplate.
Yes. I don't want to go religious. Because you not say because he's a pastor, let me just give that part.
It's all right.
Don't allow society place a demand on you. If you
but is that really realistic? Sorry for interrupting. Because it's easy to say, oh, don't let society pressure you. But the reality is that there's so much pressure from society.
Let me learn.
And this is something that men have to do with.
Learn.
Okay.
You know why? Because it's a personal race. Life in its entirety is a personal race. Relationship is not cheap.
Okay.
First of all,
marriage is not cheap. Even the single parenting that we have been talking about is still not cheap. So I will borrow words from my brother. Let me copy him. Anything that you are going into, if you know you don't have the resources, when I mean resources, I'm not only referring to finance.
yes.
Okay.
Mental resources,
Yes.
emotional resources, psychological resources. Emotional resources will come when you start noticing some changes in the woman.
Okay.
If you are not emotionally mature, you will freeze.
I think that's part of the
You will
challenge.
freeze.
Yes.
You will freeze, and you see yourself probably acting like a mediocre. You see the man running away because he's not mature emotionally. So all of these have to be put into consideration before you think of either getting married or going to a relationship or even becoming a single parent. Even the single parenting is still not easy. If all these single men, single daddies, if they tell you what they are facing from taking care of a child, because the child becomes their first priority because they're not married legally to the woman, and the woman that they got impregnated, it's still not easy for them.
Okay.
So like I said, make sure you are ready. Okay. Like I told someone, I said, marriage is war. Yeah.
How so?
Marriage is war. Relationship is a battle. Preparing for marriage alone is not a joke. So when I see one of the problem people are having is because, like I said, butterfly trying to be like a bird, allowing society to put pressure on them. They want to belong. So even when they're not having the right finances, you see them wanting to have a girlfriend to impress their friends so that they can belong to society.
Okay.
So all of this, my brother, is a societal problem. So you see them doing what they're not supposed to do. You see them entering into a stage they are not prepared for. My brother, being a father is not a joke. I pray that I have time where I will talk about the spiritual implication of being a father.
Hopefully we'll have another.
It's more than paying bills, my brother. Being a father, being a husband, you see these two roles, they are very different. But I'll talk about that subsequently. So back to the matter. So when you allow society to put pressure on you, you end up making mistakes and you start to drift from your original plan, from the plan that God have given you, your destiny. Because this thing is a big problem. So when I see guys saying that whenever they get married, they do not allow the woman dictate for them, well, it's a trend. I won't fault it. It's their mindset, it's their mental construction. But for me, my personal opinion on that is that I keep blaming the ladies.
Okay.
Why? Because they have monetized relationship.
Okay.
How will you not handle marriage?
How will you not handle marriage? When the man clearly knows that you are in this relationship because of the money, he will treat you like garbage. Sorry, I'm using that word.
Okay.
So, any of this. So, just imagine such a girl becoming a single parent, a single mother. She's in soup. Because the man clearly knows that, see, you're not in this marriage because of money. You're not in this because of love. You're in it because of money. So, you see the man treating her like trash and getting other girls pregnant. And the cycle continues. It becomes a societal problem. God will help us.
Now, what you just said is, one of the reasons that I believe society doesn't even look at enough. And that's something that has to do with women, some women of this generation, let me not generalize, not taking accountability for their actions. Now, in all of this, we've blamed men, we've, put the blame largely on
I
them.
will keep blaming men.
Okay.
No, I'm controversial.
Yeah.
I will keep blaming
it's
men.
Fine.
Though the women have their own fault
Yes.
too, but I will keep blaming
And
them.
that's the angle I would
You
like
cannot
us to look
imagine
at it.
giving birth to a child that you cannot take care of. It's a disaster.
Okay.
Who will take care of your child for? Who will take care of your mess for
That
you?
is even being worse than an infidel.
Do you know, it's even biblical.
I totally agree with you.
Who will
Yeah.
take care? Okay, let's assume now you have a friend that is not working. You, of course, we are very close. You are not working. You went to get a girl pregnant. You see, you don't put us for trouble.
We have to now
Do you understand?
looking for
Start gathering money. You will put the family of the boy in trouble. You will put the boy's friends in trouble.
You put the alive on hold.
Now,
Okay.
they will not come to social media and say anonymous. Who cares?
Anonymous is
So,
looking for
so
alibi.
I will keep blaming men. If you know you are not ready
Okay.
to father a child, if you know you're not ready of taking care of a woman, please abstain from those things. Just add
well,
yourself.
abstinence is a major challenge for lots of young men of this generation because, of course, some of them will tell you that once you are of a certain age, you can't help some of these things. For instance, once a man is of a certain age, he begins to desire having a woman in his life.
Yes.
If not for any other reason, just for companionship.
Yes.
Right. I think that's one of the major reasons why issues like this come up. Some of them know deep down in their hearts that they are not prepared,
for
the responsibility of marriage, right? But they just want a woman, maybe for companionship, and then it gets to a point where the moment they get what they want, they just jet out. So that's one of the major factors that I feel we should be looking at. It takes two to tango, right? And we've largely looked at this issue from one perspective. Let's now look at it from the other perspective, which is the role that women have to play in this issue. Now, Sharia, whether we like it or not, every facet of society has a role to play in all of this. We, the men, have our own role. We have our own fault in this, right? And I'm sure the religious institutions also have a role to play. But let's look at it from the angle of the women. What do you think is their role in all of this?
Well, number one, societal pressure.
Can you
When
explain?
when a lady wants to do what she's not supposed to do, you can end up entering trouble. Yes. Girls, they talk.
Okay.
Teenagers, adolescents, they talk. You see them talking, telling them, I have boyfriend, I have all of that. So when you start doing, because of that pressure, because of that discussion, all right? There's one thing about communication. The starting point to an action is communication. Action and realization is the end point.
Okay.
So when you start having such conversation, you want to experiment. Like I said, pressure. Then you fall into trouble. That's number one.
I feel like you're speaking in riddles. I would want you to, be very explicit.
I'm being realistic.
Yeah, but I want you to be more, explicit in your explanation.
Teenagers, between the ages of 16, 17, 18, they talk. They have discussions among themselves.
Yeah.
So you hear them talking about
they share their
boyfriend,
personal experiences with one
boyfriend,
another.
a guy
Yeah.
called me, a guy was wooing me, or a guy they toast me, those kind of things. So you hear someone telling you, have you done it before? Say, yes, I don't do it. How many times? Once. So do them again now. That second time, she can do it while she's ovulating. And pregnancy will enter.
And probably you could not have gotten accurate
knowledge. You understand? That's number one. Societal pressure causes it. One. Then number two, I think let me narrow it down to, I will give you just 3 or 4 because of time constraint.
All right.
I think the society we find ourselves today, there's a lot of parental dysfunction. All right? I've lived in rural areas and urban areas, so I know what's up.
Okay.
You understand?
What's obtainable in both.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know that there are some, not all parents though, there are some parents that are irresponsible. Yes, there are some parents that indulge their female children
Into
to
social acts.
use sex to trap a man. Especially if they know that the man is wealthy.
Wow.
Maybe a boy that is just coming up, dressing fine, driving daddy's car. They know that this boy has a very bright future.
Okay.
The mothers can pressure their daughter to go close.
So they use the child as a bait to get the boy.
Because of poverty. All still boils down to poverty.
Okay.
Then I think number three, based on my level of understanding of this topic, is this one sounds very odd. Mistake. Many of these girls do not know what they are doing. Yes. Many of these girls that are
But
single,
that sounds to me like, absorbing them off.
No, it's a factor.
Okay.
Many of them, just one night stand, one first trial, pew!
Yeah.
They don't know say they ovulate. And before a girl can be pregnant, she must be ovulating. How many parents have time to teach their daughters
So
about
this is
ovulation?
you attributing this to the lack of sexual education?
No
that you did
education.
mention. Okay.
Zero. Most parents are even shy to teaching their daughters about ovulation. Some parents do not even know how to calculate menstrual cycle.
Okay.
Some parents. So imagine a parent that is not learned, that does not know this.
How will the girl child?
How will the girl child learn? So when you see her having intercourse with a man and she getting pregnant, she doesn't even know what she's doing. I don't want to say privilege. I was in the know of a particular girl that got pregnant even up to the 6th month. She not even knows that she get pregnant. She was not even aware. Do you understand?
Okay.
That's number 3. Then on the last one, let me end at this juncture.
Now, Williams, there is a trend among the female folk, especially the younger generation, okay, who are in a rat race to outdo each other, right? There seems to be this fierce competition amongst women of this age, Everybody wants to use the latest iPhone, get the trending stuff, the most expensive hair and all of that.
Yeah, Brazilian hair.
Exactly. And in a bid to try to stay relevant, and of course, be on top of the food chain, they tend to get themselves involved with the wrong kind of men. Some of them know that these men will not really marry them, but for some selfish reasons, they get involved with them. And then, just like Oshoria said, sometimes pregnancy, sets in, and then we begin to have issues that have to do with single motherhood and all of that. Now, what's your take on that?
Yes,
on the part of the women.
Now, when you know that you can't afford some certain things for yourself, you can't fend for yourself, you are not working, and then here comes a young man who is working for his own money, and then because he gives you some little bit of privilege, you are capitalizing on it and you make him an ATM machine, unnecessary billing and all that. If he's a man that is not well cultured, you will not expect him to just be so good, so you will start asking for the next.
Okay.
He wants to see in between the legs. Sorry for saying that, but because it's normal. There are a lot of men who can stay and just understand that probably she's less privileged. Let me just see how to help her. Then once he get to a stage that he will not tell, because while you're doing that, he is also absorbing the pressure of not buying that toll.
Okay.
Here we further commit him. Because I've seen these things, it happens every day. So if the one that is not conscious, he may do it, and then doing that, you've already getting pregnant. He has the right to badge you, to say, please go. He can face your family. He can just tell them, I don't want her, but I can take care of the child. You have successfully used your hand to cut short your own dream, to focus, just like Oshora said, 15 years of your life. Imagine what that will cost you. But if it comes to the ones that are well cultured, will tell you that what you are doing is not right, it's wrong. You are hurting me because I don't want to take advantage of you. Go and look for how to fix yourself, get a job to do. But some lady may think that it's just being those entitlement mentality. So it all boils down to, first of all, the ladies giving themselves self-pride and making sure you fix your life. So you don't involve in all this competition the do or die way to get it. Even if you are to go me in between my legs just to make sure I want to get that iPhone because of societal pressure, you want to please your friends because they are doing it. There's a big zero. You may even be working with a very smart lady that knows how to maneuver all these things, probably having that cautious, that snared conscience to even be aborting. You understand?
Okay.
And then you that is naive, you don't want to expose yourself to that. Probably you still have some little bit of conscience. And then you are moving with those kinds of people in challenge.
Usually fall victim.
Thank you. So it's that time they need to when to be awareness and then be content.
Okay.
Know that life is a stage.
Okay.
You definitely get there. You definitely afford some certain things. Only if you will know that you have to walk.
Okay.
Or you have to do
I think
business.
that's a problem because that's one thing that lots of young women of this generation don't seem to.
They don't want to pass through
Some
stress.
of them feel like, how can a young girl, a beautiful girl, be working or working
I
hard?
was driving one particular night going home. I was with my spouse. Driving one particular night going home, and then there's a lady calling. I saw the message dropped. I know this is billing on our street slang. They want to bill me. Okay. So, and then I was driving, still on the highway. You are calling, that was the day I got fed up, and I just sent that message that you don't need to pressure me. This your pressure is getting too much.
Okay.
Continuous calling and all that. So now imagine me now wanting to take advantage of such lady.
Yeah.
And then, God forbid, and then she now ends up in such way. You've already, because of that pressure, that you have not want you to go and be self-empowered and put yourself in.
All right, thank you so much. Now, sorry, I saw you in.
I just I must not say this. If I don't say this, my conscience will not be at peace.
All right, go ahead.
I think one of the reasons why we have so many single ladies out there is because many of them are not wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
now,
do you mean by that?
Imagine somebody that has never succeeded in marriage, somebody that has failed in marriage, or somebody that got pregnant for 4 different men with 4 different children, or somebody that is even more than the age of getting married and choose not to get married because she's enjoying some tidbits from guys, from different guys.
Different men.
Imagine some of them are even involved with several guys at the same time.
Exactly. Imagine someone that listens to an advice from a lady that has never been married on how to manage her home. And when she follows such a when she follows such stupid advice from someone.
I believe there are better synonyms for that. You don't have to use
Okay, I'm sorry, I take that word back. Imagine following such an really irresponsible advice from someone that has never succeeded
in
that particular practice.
Okay.
Then it can resort to single parenting.
All right.
See, when you allow a lady that has failed in marriage to penetrate you, to give you bad advice, to tell you that your husband is this, to tell you bad things about your husband, you will end up making errors. You will end up making mistakes.
Okay.
Do you understand? This thing has led to the breaking of many marriages.
Okay.
Do you understand? You can imagine somebody telling you to leave your husband after giving birth to 4 children. Say probably because your husband cannot give you 5,000 to cook. And not if he give her 1,000. No. But she will influence you to leave in her man. Imagine somebody telling you, imagine your friend telling you, the girl, to leave your husband or to disrespect your husband because you feel he's not man enough. So we have enough.
She is probably submissive to
her own, but she will give her friend advice. That's why I call it irresponsible. That's why I use the word I use. It's an irresponsible advice. Because now, if you look at it, advice must have intention. Yes. If I tell my brother here, Williams, break up with your girlfriend, with the girl you are dating, what is my intention? It could be that I want the girl he's dating for myself.
For yourself, yeah.
Do you understand? So if he's wise enough, he should be wise enough because he has been with the girl. He knows her better than me. So he should be able to tell me, no, whatsoever thing I do becomes my responsibility. I should be man enough to handle my own home. Do you understand? But now, majority of the things, the reason why many girls are single today, majority why they are single parenting because of the bad advice that they've listened to. It's only from their friends. Their female friends are not even married. That's why I keep telling married friends, if you are married as a girl, thank God I'm on camera. If you are married as a girl, you have no business with singles.
Okay.
Yes, because like attract like in this matter. Which experience? Does the person have marriage experience? There's a difference between being married and being single.
Okay, but they are responsible singles, don't you think?
Even if they are advising you,
very rare.
it's rare. Even if they are advising you, you should be able to screen whatsoever advice they are giving to you.
Simple as that.
This thing that we are just, it's a very big problem.
All right.
It has made many ladies to become single parents.
We hope to find a solution to that problem. Now, Williams, let's take this, to the in the dimension of social media influencers.
Wow.
Right. Now,
Imagine
he just
you.
made mention. Of course, we really don't have much time left, but let's look at it from that angle. You have lots of people on social media, women. Okay, let's not make it a gender affair. We also have negative male influencers.
Yes, of course.
Who tend to influence young people to make the wrong choices. But the sad thing is that when the chickens come home to roost. These people are not there to help them bear the brunt.
Simple as that.
So how does this affect the spate of single parenthood among the young people of our generation?
First of all, you that is listening to those social media influencers, counselors, advisors, and all that, fine, it's good to listen to advice. But you must understand that those people are coming from another point of experience. Nobody.
Some of them are probably just, content creators.
Yes. Nobody in this life, I will repeat it, nobody in this life will give advice from your own stand of experience.
Exactly.
They will give you the advice from their own stand of experience, what they've experienced. Now come to marriage, what they've experienced in marriage.
Okay.
Their husbands might be behaving in a manner that is totally wrong, but your own will be behaving in a manner that is wrong, but probably in the right style, or that is even adjustable with you giving him some sort of behavior.
Okay.
But because you are listening to her or him, you say when you see him do like this, just know that he's seeing another woman. Break up. Oh, it's good. Break up.
Whereas her experience,
her
reality
was
is different from yours.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand me? Because now, what is first of all, you listening to them, look at your own stand, your own way of character, your own way of manner, way of bring up. What is your own ideology? First of all. You understand?
Okay.
It may be that they are very haughty, what do I have that word now? Very haughty, not submissive, grandstanding, deviant, combative, not even ready to come
arrogant
to the shoulder of the man. They want to be here of the man.
It's not possible.
How do you do that to a man? I always speak to my friends, my female friends. There is no way you can be above a man.
It's not possible.
You must ready to submit to a man. I was telling one recently, I said, the man might be wrong. Submit to him first. It could be later on, you bring the matter.
Exactly.
He will appreciate you more. But when in that moment you don't want to allow him have his ground, you are wronging him and hurting him. For him not to even be able to sit you down, it's not that he's trying to ride over your be very aggressive. He just wants to see that I'm the man. He's not being proud. Calm down. We will settle this issue. Okay. You don't need to raise up shoulder before you settle issue. And then you are listening to somebody that will tell you when he's doing like that. Don't worry, shout on him. Let him know. You have rights, equal rights. He's the head, you self now the neck. If the neck come out the head, you are just doing yourself. You are very close to being a single mother.
Thank you so much, Williams. Now, as we begin to round up Oshoria, what counsel would you give to young people, young men and women who are planning to toe this same line, right? Whether you like it or not, some young people are even making deliberate efforts to become single fathers and single mothers. It's sad. I mean, that is how bad the situation has become. So what's your advice for such people?
It's not always funny at the end. They say there's light at the end of the tunnel. This one, there's no light, not even lantern. Because it always ends in regret.
They wouldn't remove the lights from the end.
It always ends. You end up wasting your time. You end up wasting your money. You end up wasting your passion, your resources, everything. There's no light there. My advice is follow the right path to development, your personal development.
All right.
Follow the right path. And if you are on a trajectory, you're on a road, don't be distracted.
Okay.
Be focused, number one. Number two, follow God. Follow the teachings of Jesus. Follow, I'm not saying follow church or follow pastor.
Yes. Of course, you are speaking as clergy.
Follow God.
Okay.
Do you understand? Then I think and the Bible, yes. Then I think number 3, which I'm going to end here, have the ability to discern.
Okay.
When I mean discern, there are a lot of things to say. Sometimes someone that you respect and revere can even give you bad counsel.
Okay. So you're saying,
do you understand? It's just like somebody telling me that whenever you have problems with your wife, divorce her. Is that a right counsel?
All right.
You understand? So you must be able to discern between good and bad, between foolishness and wisdom.
Okay.
So putting these 3 things into perspective, you will not have problem in this life.
Thank you so much, Ashorian. Thank you so much, Williams, for your amazing contributions. You guys have spoken extensively well about the intricacies of single parenthood. I really do appreciate your wealth of wisdom and knowledge, and I hope that the next time I call upon you to
I wish it's more than 1 hour.
But hopefully we'll be able to achieve that sometime in the future. But once again, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you.
All right, it's been Flip Side on Independent Television, and I want to say a big thank you to every one of you for riding with us from start to finish. We've been talking about the intricacies of single parenthood. Now, for young people out there who don't know the implication of being a single parent, it's not a joke, just like you've heard my guest say. Whatever you do, ensure that you count the cost before embarking on the building of the structure. My name is Harry Aigboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, please ensure you do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Good afternoon.